Right, hi, welcome to the channel. I'm Pete. Today we are on Harden Moor near Keighley in West Yorkshire, and we are looking for some ancient history. There is an Iron Age stone circle up here, first mentioned or documented in the 1800s, around 1853 or somewhere around there. And in the 1950s there were some excavations done around here. The excavations revealed 4 or 5 Iron Age urns at burials, and it would seem that the stone circle that remains today is only a small one, around 26 feet in diameter, and the stones are no more than 3 feet high. Very old Iron Age stone circle, so it should be up on here somewhere, so we'll go and have a look for it, and I'll take you with me. We'll get some video of it, and yeah, let's see if we can find it. There's part there, there's a bit under there, under that piece of leather, here, and it goes all the way around right to where I'm stood, down there. So this stone circle, this was first documented in 1858, and it's believed this particular one is Bronze Age. I think I said Iron Age earlier by mistake, which I am sorry about that. It is a Bronze Age one, and it's believed it was built between 1400 and 1000 BC. As I mentioned earlier, there were excavations up here in the 1950s that found 45 burial grounds, and it believes in the middle of this one it's not so much of a stone circle but a stone cairn, burial ground, and it's believed that these ones in particular, like this, were to honour great warriors that had died. I don't think the centre of this one has been excavated. If it has, it's not documented, or it's very difficult to find. And yeah, so Harden Moor near Keighley. It's got a long history. It's mainly made of peat and sandstone, so I'm Pete, stood on peat. People have been quarrying here since forever, long before the Romans came. There are 2 Roman roads that cross this moor. Apparently you can still see part of one of them. I will try and have a look for it. So the local area, the village of Harden, has a pub called the Malt Shovel. It's now called the Malt. In days gone by, local travelling judges used to go there, and that's where they would pass sentence on the local criminals. And anybody found guilty of any crime that was sentenced to death was brought up onto the moor to be executed. I would have thought by hangings. There is a bit of a busy road beside me, but it was at this inn called the Malt Shovel back in the day. It's now called the Malt. This is where the judges used to come and pass judgment upon the criminals. Those that were found guilty and sentenced to death were taken up onto the moor and executed. I would assume it was done by hanging. I have had a look around and I can't see any record of where those hangings used to take place, other than saying they were just taken up onto the moor. But this is a beautiful building, believed to have been built in the 17th century, and it still operates today. Now if that interests you, I would suggest you go back and look through my videos and look at one for a chap called James Berry, because the hangings that would have taken place on here would have been quite brutal. So I'll have a walk around and I'll see what else we can find of any interest. A little bit more about the moor is The heather here is known to be remarkable for the condition of it. This is one of the few moorlands in the UK that's known to be disease free in the heather. So conservation people quite often come here and take some of this heather to repopulate other moorlands. During World War II, the moorland was taken over by the army. It was used to train the Home Guard. They did a lot of training on moorlands like this, and there are trails everywhere in them and down there. After World War II, they were reopened to the public, and there were explosions on here from people finding ordnance and playing with them. And one of these explosions killed a 13-year-old boy called Frank Charles Smith. After that killing, the moors were closed, they were burnt off, and the land was cleared from all ordnance. Although I suspect if you're very lucky or unlucky, you might be able to find one or two bits. As you can see, there is rock everywhere. Yorkshire stone, sandstone. Now while that stone circle is made of the same rock, they are huge pieces. But they've not had to cart them far, but they've had to do it manually. Can you imagine that? The size of them stones up there, well, they're not giant, they are still massive and would require a great amount of effort. So for whoever is buried in there, certainly did something worthy and of note. And as mentioned earlier, they are usually built for warriors. Still up on Harden Moor, come across this behind me. Clearly in a bit of ruin. Looks like they are trying to preserve it somehow. Although I doubt that'll ever be saved. It looks like it was an old house and a barn. I've been round it and I've had a look. There's no way into it. Clearly ancient. So we're on our way, a place called Altar Rock or Druid's Rock. And that's just up that path there. So to me it looks like it was a house at that side and then a barn at this side. We'll continue up this road. Found it behind me is Altar Rock or Druid's Altar up on the moor top. It's quite an impressive natural stone structure. Now if I go and turn myself around a little bit, you can see how high up we are with the valley beneath. I'll go up top there, I'll get some shots of it, and hopefully I'll tell you a little bit about it as well. So Druid's Rock. In 1995, at the bottom of this rock was found a 15-year-old girl. Her name was Nubantu Zani, known to her friends as Mandy. She was missing for 2 weeks and her remains were found at the bottom of this rock. The murder is unsolved and the cause of death is unknown, although it was suspected she was strangulated by her own chiffon scarf. The decomposition on the body was so bad that we're actually unable to identify why. She came over from South Africa with a family after her father was murdered there, and they settled in Bradford in Great Horton. Sadly, her life ended and she was found here. If you've enjoyed this episode, please hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel, it is free. I've got loads of stuff coming up, weekly episodes, history or my motorbike or anything else that I find interesting along the way. So yeah, please hit like, share and subscribe. Stay safe and I'll see you in the next one.